Alright class, let's go ahead and get started on some of the homework problems here. First one we have is number 1. So we're going to go over some examples. And we're going to find angle M. So here's angle M. I'm going to highlight that in blue here. That's angle M. We need to get that angle. What do we have with our angle? What you need to do is, in these ones, you need to kind of read the directions as well. In the figure, CD is equal to CE, and they've marked that right here. ABCE is a parallelogram, so that's important. I'm going to highlight this parallelogram in red, which means that we have available to us all of the characteristics of a parallelogram. Okay? And refer to your handout for those characteristics. We have things like opposite angles are equal. We have interior angles are supplementary. We have, so I'm going to label this as angle A, meaning that these right here are supplementary. Angle A and angle M add to 180. I'm going to label this as angle E, and this is angle C. Other properties include angle M and C are supplementary, angles E and C are supplementary, and angles A and E are supplementary. Okay, all of those are equal to 180. Opposite angles are equal. That means that let's go and get rid of these. Opposite angles, I'm going to highlight in blue now. A and C are going to be equal, and M and E are going to be equal. Okay. We have that these sides are the same. This side is the same as this side. This side is the same as this side. We have parallelism, okay, which lends to the interior angles. Because of all of those things, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what we have on the right side of our figure, which is the 30 degrees here. We have 30 degrees here, and we have base angles here. Or those two sides are the same, so we can get the base angles. That means that these are the same. Okay. So we can say that angle F and G are going to be equal to each other. So F is equal to G from base angles. I know that if I do F is equal to G, so I have 30 degrees plus 2F is equal to 180 degrees because of angle sum of triangle. I can get that F is going to be 2F is equal to 150 when F is equal to 75 degrees. Okay, so F is equal to 75. So here I'm just exploring to make my plan. So you kind of explore a little bit here. F equals G equals also 75 degrees. Now we can get to angle E, because that's right next to angle F. So notice that these are next to each other. And that's just angles on a line, okay? AED is a straight line, so that's our clue there. So let's say that 75 degrees plus angle E is equal to 180 degrees from angles on a line. Okay? And because of that, we know that E is going to be equal to, I subtract 75 from both sides, 105 degrees. And that will get me to my M. Here, you have opposite angles. So M is also equal to 105 because of opposite angles of a parallelogram. Okay, so we kind of figured out a step-by-step process to get to M, deduce what M is. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do that in our teacher solution. So the first thing what I did was I set F equal to G. Okay, from base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay. Then I did, to get to a numerical value for F, I did 30 degrees plus 2F equals 180 from angle sum of triangle. Oops. So it looks like my teacher solution is pretty much my scratch work. And that's okay. Make sure you rewrite everything nice and neat in the teacher solution. Now because of that, I can subtract 30 from both sides. That will cancel. And 2f is equal to 150. Divide by 2. Those will cancel. F is equal to 75 degrees. Okay. And then I did, to get to E, 75 degrees plus E equals 180 degrees because the angle's on a line. Subtract 75 from both sides. And we will get that E is equal to 105 degrees. Okay. And this is where we say that M is also now equal to 105 degrees. Therefore, M is 105. Because of opposite angles in a parallelogram. Okay. And that one is done. It takes a little bit of investigation, a little bit of looking. I'm going to go to the next one, number 2. Taking a look at the figure, reading the directions and what we have here, because a lot of times the directions might have some extra information, sometimes they might not. Okay. In the figure, WXYZ is a parallelogram. Okay, so here we have the idea of a parallelogram again. I'm going to highlight it in red. We should have lots of attributes come to mind when we say the parallelogram. Okay, the opposite angles are equal, the interior angles are supplementary, the opposite sides are equal and parallel. It says that ZVW is 52 degrees, which is what we have here, and WVX is a straight line. Okay, so we can probably use angles on a line. We need to find XYZ, which is this one right here. I need this angle here, so I'm going to actually highlight it in blue this way. Okay, that's what I'm going for, is this angle right here. Okay, so what else do we have with us? We have a equilateral triangle. Okay, so the green triangle here is going to be equilateral. Not equilateral, sorry, isosceles. Isosceles, that means the base angles are equal. So this is going to be angle W. And I can say that W is also equal to 52 degrees. Okay, as I'm looking around my figure, I'm exploring, and I'm going to start writing some angle amounts because my goal is to get up to that angle Y. So if I know that that one's 52 degrees, and then I can even deduce what angle Z is up here. So I'm going to label this as little z. Okay, so 52 degrees plus 52 degrees plus little z is equal to 180 degrees from angle sum of triangle. Okay, that's 104 degrees plus z equals 180. Z is going to equal 180 minus 104, so that's 6. 7 minus 7, 76 degrees. Write down my figure. Alright. Well, I do know that this angle, let's call this one A, above the W on the right. We know that A is going to equal something, whatever 52 plus A is, equal to 180 degrees, because the angle's on a line. And then I subtract 52, and A is going to be equal to 10 minus 2 is 8, 7 minus 5 is 2, 128 degrees. Okay, so since the red thing is a parallelogram, I can shoot straight to angle Y. Y is going to equal 128 degrees as well because of opposite angles. So I'm going to do little y. Okay, so that looks like I didn't need to do z, so you don't have to write that in my teacher solution. So I will omit that calculation. I know that little w is 52 was my first step. Okay, so w is equal to 52 degrees from base angles of isosceles triangle. Then I'm going to go to find out what angle A is. So 52 degrees plus A is equal to 180 degrees because of angles on a line. Subtract 52 from both sides. A is going to equal 128 degrees. Okay. And I know that angle XYZ, therefore, that angle is also equal to 128 degrees because of opposite angles, parallelogram. Okay. All right, number 8. Number 8, FGI is a rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to outline that in red. They told me that this was a rectangle, and so because of that, you should have a number of characteristics come to mind. Okay. Like characteristics like opposite sides are equal. Okay. So that's equal to that, that's equal to that. 2 marks there, 2 marks there. And all of these angles are right, 90-degree angles. So we'll mark them in here. They're parallel, and so on. So we can use the interior angles as well. IJK is a rhombus. IJHK is a rhombus, so it's this one right here. I'm going to highlight it in green. This is a rhombus. That should also have a set of characteristics that come to mind. Rhombuses have all equal sides, so we'll mark those with these marks here. Rhombuses also have parallel sides, so their interior angles are equal, their opposite angles are equal. Okay, because of that, I can say that little angle J is also equal to 48 degrees, because this one is right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we need. We need angle M. And angle M I'm going to highlight in blue. Skinny angle here, really small. Okay. That's the angle we need. Looking around M, we can see that the M plus whatever angle this is right here, I'm going to highlight it in yellow, whatever angle this is right here, add up to 90 degrees because they will fill up their complementary, they'll fill up the 90-degree part. So let's do little angle, let's do A for this one. A. So I know that M plus A is going to be equal to 90 degrees. Okay. I can use that angle, I know that angle FIH is equal to 90 degrees because of the definition of a rectangle. Okay, so I can note that down. And I'll label that in purple. This angle right here is 90 degrees. Okay, so getting around A. A also happens to be a base angle. Angle A is a base angle of triangle IJH. Okay. Triangle IJH. Now IJH is half of the rhombus, and so there's a few problems in this homework where you can get an isosceles triangle from half the rhombus. Okay. And which means that A, angle A, so let's go little h. So I'm going to label this one H, and we're going to say that H is also equal to A. Because of base angles. Of isosceles triangle. Okay. So I can get to A from J, because J was the opposite of 48. So 2A plus 48 degrees is equal to 180 degrees because of angle sum of triangle. Okay. So let's go ahead and subtract 48 from both sides to calculate this number. 2a is equal to 180 minus 148. Sorry, 180 minus 48, which is 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 4 is 3. So 2a is 132. Divide by 2 on both sides. A is going to equal 213 goes 6 times with 1 left over, 66 degrees. Okay. So I'm going to write down 66 degrees. Okay. So I know that A and M equals 90, so M plus 66 degrees equals 90 degrees. And that's going to be, M is going to then equal 90, let's see, 90 minus 66. So we have 10 minus 6 is 4, 8 minus 6 is 2. M is going to equal 24 degrees. Okay, so I have enough for my teacher solution. And I can go ahead and write that now. What did we do in our scratch work to get our teacher solution? We need to arrange things in a logical order. So first, I had jumped over from J equals 48 degrees, okay, from opposite angles of the rhombus. Which I can go ahead and use parallelogram or rhombus, they're all the same here. And then I needed the base angles with A. Okay, so I did A equals 66 next. Then I need to determine that the angle that M and A equal 90 degrees from definition of rectangle. Okay, and then I went ahead and solved for M. So the first thing to do was to go ahead and say that J was equal to 48 degrees. That's from opposite angles of a rhombus or the parallelogram. Okay, so we got that there. And we can say that H is equal to A because the base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay, and so we need to get the numbers for H and A. So we have 48 degrees plus 2A equals 180 degrees. So we use the triangle, the isosceles triangle, angle sum. Okay. Subtract 48 from both sides. Two A is going to equal 10 minus 8 is 2. Oh yeah, we did that already, 132. Divide by 2. A is going to equal 66 degrees. Okay. So I have my A. Now I need to say that A and M add to 90 degrees. So in order to say that and prove it, I'm going to go ahead and write that angle Fij is equal to 90 degrees from the definition of a rectangle. Okay, so I say that that's 90 degrees first. And then I can say that M plus A equals 90 degrees. M plus 66 degrees equals 90 degrees. Now A, I said was 66 right here. And so I can use that as 66 from now on. Now that's a geometric move. And from chapter 1, we have angles add. Okay, adjacent angles add together. You can add their measures, angle measures. And so we're going to subtract 66 degrees from here, from both sides. M is going to equal 10 minus 6 is 4, and 8 minus 6 is 2. So therefore, M is equal to 24 degrees. All right, so there's a couple of homework help problems. We've got a couple of the easier ones, so let me know if you have any questions on some of the harder ones. And good luck. Hope you enjoyed the lesson for today.